cleanroom space this size somewhere else in town, if it was done traditionally, would be a $10 million bill. We're gonna get this done for 25% of that cost, and it will be an innovative design and a flexible design. My name is Robert Burdanier. I'm the controller of Advantech. We also go under the trade name of AMAX. So AMAX is a contraction for Active Matrix Technology, which is the technology that we're working in. What we do is we manufacture TFTs, or thin film transistors, for the display and the microelectronics industry. So what that TFT does is it powers a display that would go on your cell phone or a GPS. We're trying to build a transistor that will work for an organic light emitting diode display. What we're building here is a manufacturing site to be able to demonstrate that manufacturing process.
They've developed this theoretically, and now they're putting this in a real-life application in a space such as this. So in order to do that, they have to have a very controlled environment, which when we talk about environment, we're talking about HVAC, clean air, comfortable air, right temperature and right humidity, and very well filtered. What's called in this type of environment a clean room.
We're doing microelectronic processing. Dust particles matter.
Clean room technology is application specific. We use very specific types of air conditioning equipment, very specific filtration and understanding of temperature and humidity, and how all of that integrates into the play of the different processes that are going on in this somewhat of a lab environment.
So when you think about the classification of a clean room, so class 1000 means nothing more than 1,000 particles per million in the air. If you were to look to my right, you would see that there's gridwork up. Inside that gridwork, that will be class 1000. That gridwork will hold a curtain that will come down, creates positive air pressure in there. So that's what allows us to get class 1000 with separate filtration. Any space that isn't within a grid space will be class 10,000 in here. Now, Tudi Mechanical has assisted us with that by doing the heat load and the humidity calculations, and have also spec'd out the amount of tonnage we need.
This room is totally sealed all the way up to the roof. Inside that room is going to be about 5 clean rooms, and they're going to have plastic curtain with different tooling inside, and each one of those rooms is going to be a designated space for their production, test, research. So not only is that a clean room, in that clean room are clean rooms, and in each one of those small clean rooms they have to be positive pressure because they don't want dust infiltrating back into it. So now you have a positive pressure inside that clean room. On the roof, we're going to have 2 frequency drive fans that monitor the pressure of that room, that are going to ramp up and slow down as our levers turn on and turn off to satisfy temperature, humidity, and pressurization.
So off to our right, we have a lever unit that they helped us source. We didn't have to buy it new. They helped us find a used one, which they refurbished for us. They found 2 others that they've got on hold for us that will go in 2 other places in this space, as well as 55 tons of rooftop air conditioning units. That's how we're going to get to our classification in this clean room.
The quantity of ductwork, the amount of airflow, there's 3 30-ton Liebert units that are inside that clean room and 6 rooftop units. You may see that in a commercial building, you know, but not in a room. So the sheer fact of how much mechanical equipment is going into one building is pretty overwhelming.
We got involved with the project early on when they were talking to engineers who were ready to design them a Taj Mahal, if you will, that was going to cost them more than they could afford and give them more than what they really need.
This is a very professionally run organization. They do what they say, they do it when they say it, and they do it for a reasonable price. They're not going to be the cheapest in town, but they're going to give you the best value.
We want to be able to understand what they need for their business. We want to think that we're part of their board of directors, and we're trying to give them what's going to result in the best bottom line for them. This is the epitome of design build, where you come in from day one and meet with the owner before anything is on paper. You start with a clean sheet of paper and the owner, and we find out what his requirements are, and we help them develop those requirements into a real design, and then work through that design into a final building and construction of the project.
It's innovative, it's cutting edge, and it's cutting edge because we built it for half the cost, and it'll have 3 times the functionality of any similar sized clean room space in town.
At some point, hopefully in mid-October, they'll be able to see one of these LCD plates coming out the end of their assembly line, showing their investors, hey, this is how it works, and that'll be the real icing on the cake.